Hey everyone, what's going on? Steven back here again today, playing some more Call of Duty Advanced Warfare here on the Xbox One. This is a team deathmatch gameplay on the map Defender. I'm using the BAL-27, the 308 variant, so this is a variant of the BAL. And today I'm going to be giving you guys my tips on what I've been picking up on so far in Advanced Warfare throughout the first 2 weeks of the game being released. So my first point here is going to be actually about the weapon variants in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. The weapon variants in this game may be overlooked by a lot of people. It pretty much just, mixes up the stats on your weapons, making them better in some categories and worse in others. Now, when the game first came out and I started getting these variants from, supply crates, I never really, experimented with them. What I recommend you guys do is, whenever you get a variant, make sure you try it out because you never know. The BAL, this one at least, it plays a bit differently than the original, which makes it, in my opinion, better. So I use this variant. So make sure you guys experiment with them because, when you're mixing up the stats on certain guns, it can make them, better for you as a player. So make sure you guys do that. Don't sell all of them. Only sell the ones that you know that you're never going to use. That's my best advice for that. My next suggestion would actually be looking at your perk 2 category. Are you using a perk in the perk 2 slot, or are you just, using a perk in there? Now, the one perk I feel is really overlooked by a lot of people is peripherals. Peripherals, in case you guys don't really know, have not really used it all that much, it pretty much enlarges your map. I'm using it right now in this game. My mini-map has a lot more, space on it, so I can see ahead of myself a lot farther than I could on a normal mini-map. This allows me to pinpoint where enemies are a bit more precisely than just, an enemy at the very edge of my mini-map. So this is very precise for, spotting enemies on your map. Other perks in the category like Blind Eye and, Cold-Blooded, especially Blind Eye, is actually not that useful because when you think about it, not many people get a lot of score streaks in this game pertaining to Warbirds or Paladins. So Blind Eye, to stay off the minimap from these kill streaks or score streaks, is really not that useful. So I recommend trying out peripherals because it can really help your map awareness, so I really like this perk a lot. And because the score streaks in this game are so weak, including the Paladin, the Warbird, stuff like that, the air support in particular is very weak. What I recommend doing is completely forgetting those for the most part, unless you're playing Ground War, then maybe you could pull those off. But, perks like the UAV, the System Hack, and the Bombing Run, perks like, not perks, but score streaks like those are very helpful to doing well in games. UAVs, of course, pinpoint enemies on the map. The System Hack completely blinds the enemies pretty much. It's very annoying for the enemies to have to deal with. And the Bombing Run can get you 2 or 3 kills almost per try. But anyways, getting into this. A lot of people don't really customize their score streaks. So what I mean by this is make sure if you can afford the points to add on to your streaks, make sure you try out, extending your UAV time, making the UAV swipes faster. Because these are really going to help out your score streaks. If you just use something like a plain UAV, it's not going to be quite as effective. So if you guys know that you are capable of getting, a little bit higher score streaks, like maybe 100 or 200 more points, make sure you customize your kill streaks to make them better, because ultimately it's really worth it when you get them. As you can see in this gameplay, actually, I'm using 3, attachments or add-ons to my UAV, and that makes it worth more, but it's also better. My System Hack, you'll see when I call it in, I'm actually using 2 extended times on it, so I'm extending the amount of time the System Hack is used twice. So it costs 300 total points to add that on, but in the long run it's really worth it. As you can see, those 2 hourglasses, that's what those signify. And then really, one big thing about this game is make sure if you don't have the blast suppression perk on your class setup, make sure you don't boost jump a whole lot unless you have blast suppression on this perk in perk 3 slot. Because if you don't, you're going to be pinging yourself each time you jump around. And as you guys know, a lot of people jump around like bunny rabbits in this game. So if you don't have that perk on your class setup, you're going to be, pretty much marking yourself on the map to enemies each time you use it. So unless you want to stay more on the ground and not use your exosuit so much, then I would have to highly recommend using blast suppression on your perk on your perks 3 slot, because every single time you get pinged, and that is really giving away your position a lot. So make sure you guys are aware. If you're not using it, just keep an eye on how many times you're boost jumping, because each time you do it, the enemy knows where you are. Something to keep in mind, as you know, sometimes you can kind of forget it when you're playing a fast-paced game like this, but it's definitely something that should not get out of your mind too far. Anyways guys, that's about all the tips I can get through for you today. I hope you guys did enjoy the gameplay. As you can see, I was using the BAL27 for most of the game. I did pretty well with it. Ended up going 27-5. But like I said, you know, use some of these tips, just try them out, and maybe you'll find that you do a bit better. Let me know how these tips work out for you. If you're finding any new, you know, gun variants that you like, let me know what you guys think of these tips, and if you want another video just like this. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the game-winning kill, and I'll see you guys within the next video.